He could go all the way. 95 yards, 38-7 Panthers. They're within 5.
Hey guys, welcome to week 6 of Run, Pass, and Pint. I'm your host, Carmine Bianco, WagerTalk.com. All right, we're going to do a quick review of college football and NFL week 5, and then we'll look at week 6 as the good and bad start to separate themselves, as well as college football. We're going to have another edition of the hot seat. We're going to bring in another WagerTalk capper. I think this guy's a legend. He's been doing this for 20 plus years, and it's good to have him on the show. We'll do a few rapid fire sports questions. We'll do a few true and false, and then we'll get him on both a college football and NFL free play. So stay tuned. All right, this past weekend, college football, NFL could have easily been a 6-0 weekend for us. It turned out to be a 4-2. Wyoming gave up that late touchdown to Hawaii, losing 17-13 as a 3.5-point dog. NFL, oh my God, the Miami Dolphins completely imploded in the fourth quarter, up 17-0. We had them at +6, and they ended up losing 27-17. I don't know. I'm not really sure. But some of that play calling, I'm not really sure what Tannehill was thinking. But regardless, a loss is a loss. We did win our 5% play with Arizona. We figured they would win outright, and they did against San Fran. And all in all, it was a good weekend. Took us to 24-10 overall between the two sports, NFL and college football, after the Monday night win on the total with New Orleans and Breeze. All right, let's get to our hot seat edition this week. It's none other than Teddy Covers. Teddy took some time out of his busy schedule today. This is being recorded on Wednesday, of course, to come on. And after a few technical glitches, we finally got this right. So, Teddy, take it away. All right, guys, in the hot seat today, we have WagerTalk's Teddy Covers. For those who don't know, Teddy's a fucking legend in the sports betting world. He's been on numerous TV programs. CBS for March Madness, ESPN's 30 for 30, and actually he's been on, I have to find it, he's been on Netflix, so I'll have to find that because I'm a big Netflix guy. And obviously now he's on the prestigious hot seat with Carmine Bianco. Welcome, Teddy.
Hey, good to be here, Carmine. Yeah, the movie's called Life on the Line. It's actually one of the, I don't know, there's a lot of good documentaries on sports betting. This is a good documentary on sports betting, so you can check it out. It's on all those type of places where you can find movies from 5 years ago.
All right, awesome. Okay, listen, so what we're going to do is literally I'm going to fire off about 7 or 8 hot seat questions to you. I'm going to we're going to do a quick little true or false, and then I want to I'm going to pick a couple games for you to give away as free plays, if that's cool with you.
Sure, let's roll.
All right, man, let's fire away. How long sports especially?
Well, I've been in Vegas since '98, and I've been betting full time since 1998. The first couple years out here, I thought I was betting professionally. There's a steep learning curve when you're doing time. So let's say since about 2000, I've been betting full time.
All right, that's pretty good. And you're still around, which is very good, because I've known a lot of guys who've come to Vegas, and it's like like they say, like in horse racing, like the graveyard of champions. The guys come
sure.
Back, but you're around, which is great. All right, your favorite and sort of toughest sports to bet handicap?
I mean, my favorite sport is whatever sport I'm beating at any given moment. There are years I have great NFL years, and then I love the NFL, or great NBA years, or great college football years. I'm not this is my best sport, I'm only focusing on this sport. That's not how I've been able to grind out a living all these years. So I'm not, at any given time, whatever I'm seeing clearly is my favorite sport by far. And anything I'm not seeing clearly is my least favorite sport. If you say which sport's the toughest for me to beat long term, it's probably baseball. Just because the summertime in Vegas, the grind wears you down in football and basketball. By the time summer hits, it's really hard to put the energy into MLB. And of course, with baseball, you've always got to, I seem to run into all the, they hit 7 home runs but didn't cover the run line, or, all these anomalies seem to happen more often than not in baseball. So I find that to be probably the most difficult sport that I handicap.
Yeah. For some of the guys that are out there who may not know this, like how much time do you actually spend putting together like a card, like or handicapping like a certain weekend of, let's say, college football or NFL?
All week. I mean, how much time do I? Literally, every waking hour that, I mean, I shouldn't say that because I spend some time with my wife and I spend some time with my son. But the reality is that when you're doing this full time, you're doing this full time. There's not any point during the week, whether it's a Monday morning or a Wednesday afternoon or a Friday night, that I'm not either thinking about the games, looking for something on the games, looking for written material, looking to follow what the beat writer just said on Twitter. The process is ongoing, and that's the difference between doing it full time and doing it part time. You know, if you're trying to do this and have a full time job doing something else, you know, good luck.
Yeah.
I wish you luck, but
yeah,
it's hard.
Work.
You know, it's something that it helps me to keep the gears running all the time.
All right, let's ground things a little bit. Your largest wager. It doesn't have to be. We're not talking. I'm not asking you for money wise, but like your largest wager. Just sort of talk about it.
I was all in on one bet. You know, it was early on. I think it was either 99 or 2000. It was, you know, early on in my tenure in Vegas, and there was a Monday night football game. It was Falcons and the Steelers. It was the year after Atlanta went to the Super Bowl, so that would have been the 99 season. It has to be 99. I bet every dollar that I had. In fact, I bet every dollar that I could get. I bet more than I had on that game, although I had some of it on the money line and some of it plus the points. And had I lost that game, you probably never would have heard of me. Never would have met me. I don't think I'd have made it. I mean, literally, I had everything on the line.
I'd be interviewing the press right now instead, but no, I'm glad it's.
God forbid.
All right, your worst bad beat. I'm actually glad it's not that game that you're talking about.
No. Actually, there was a bad beat on the other side for that. Kind of. I was trailing by margin in the fourth quarter, and we rallied back. Worst beat. I mean, the doubt is the freaking Super Bowl, of course. You know, Falcons. I had the Falcons. They're up 28-3 in the second half. They're not losing that game, let alone not covering plus 3 or was it 3.5? I don't even remember anymore. All I know is that game haunted me. I mean, like for all the off season and into the preseason of the next year, I did not stop thinking about the Falcons blowing that 28-3 lead. That was as bad a beat as I've ever taken.
Yeah.
You know, remember, they needed 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions and to win by margin in OT to get that. I don't want to talk about it. Thanks for bringing it up, Carmine. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Listen, I'm a Bills fan, so I've seen my team blow 4 Super Bowls, and they really didn't blow them. You know what I mean? Like, they were never in most of them, but
none of them were bad beats.
But no. But when I think about that Falcons game, you know, I think about the fact that you know, every armchair quarterback after the fact says, you know, why didn't they take time off the clock in the second half? Why didn't they run the ball more? You know, there was a lot of 3 and outs, and I think back to the Bills. No, it
wasn't 3 and outs, dude. They had the ball in field goal range, up 8 with a minute to go. There's no fucking running the ball. They had that great pass where he broke tackles. It was downfield in field goal. Maybe there was 2 minutes to go. Whatever it was.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, so
thanks for bringing it up, dude. You really made my day. Let's go.
On that note, let's put a little comedy into this. Who's the better handicapper, you or Prez? Now, listen, Prez.
How could you ask that? Stop.
Prez
is like a
football year, but you're having a phenomenal football year, as far as I'm concerned.
I give the Prez credit for being a personality. Prez is definitely a personality.
Oh, he's a personality.
Sure. I'm a handicapper. Okay, Prez is a personality who sometimes wins. I'm someone who spends my life trying to dig up winners and looking for every spec. Can you honestly picture Prez scrolling through beat writers' Twitter feeds looking for that extra tip? Honestly, in your wildest dreams.
Probably.
That's not how he rolls. Nothing against Prez. Fine individual. I enjoy hanging out with him, but put me in a handicapping contest against Prez anytime and you can name the stakes. I'm happy to be in that contest.
I would make you about 180.
In fact, I think we've done that.
180 to win that one. If,
you know, Prez and I back in the day used to do a radio show together at Covers, and I'm pretty sure we had a contest there, and I'm pretty sure I kicked his ass.
Yeah. Well,
actually, we both did well.
I'm going to try and bring him on next week, and we'll see if he wants to refute that. But I'm going to guess he won't.
Sure.
All right. If you weren't living in Vegas, where would you be?
The center of the sports betting world in the United States is Las Vegas. If I wasn't in Las Vegas, I'd have to be the center of the sports betting world. Probably Costa Rica. I mean, I like Costa Rica. It's beautiful. The beach is good. And that's the center of the offshore sports betting world. So I would imagine I'd be there.
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends there, and yet I've only been there once. So I've got to go and visit them. Again, a lot of them are in the sports betting, sports betting world down there. All right, let's pop off a few true or falses. Rams are the best team in the NFL.
True.
All right. Ohio State will win the national championship. I had to ask you that because you're a Michigan alumni.
Well, it wouldn't matter who you ask me. If you give me any one, Alabama, will Alabama win the national championship versus the field? And I have to answer false. So Ohio State would definitely be false. They're not the favorites to beat the field. False. Buckeyes aren't getting there. Neither are the Wolverines, though.
All right. I'm a big hockey fan, so here's a hockey one for you. The Vegas Golden Knights will be overrated many times this year.
True.
Overvalued, not overrated, overvalued.
Yeah, both. Yeah, very true. Of course. They've already been overvalued. They've already been overvalued in each of their first two games.
All right. Boston Red Sox win the World Series this year.
False.
All right.
Again, you give me one team against three. I'll take the three.
You're an odds guy. You're a numbers guy, so I expected that from you. All right. Let's get to a couple free plays here. Let's do a college football game. TCU and Texas Tech. The spread there is -7.
Yeah, TCU's had all kinds of problems with turnovers so far this season. I don't even think that necessarily changes here. Against the Texas, people don't recognize how much better this Texas Tech defense is. Oh, Texas Tech, they can't play D. They improved by 11 points a game last year. They're on pace for another TD improvement this year from where they were just 2 years ago. The West Virginia game. Remember, West Virginia came out, they all over them in the first half. Texas Tech shut them down in the second half of that ball game, and we're a pick six away from coming back to win it. Red Raiders, excellent in the road dog roll. TCU playing QB shuffle. I'll take Texas Tech +7. I don't think that the Horned Frogs win this game by big margin.
+7. All right, let's head to NFL Sunday. We have my Buffalo Bills in Houston to take on the Texans. Texans right now are -9.
Texans can't be -9. Look at Bill O'Brien when he's laying a touchdown. Seriously, go back and look at this one coach, his track record when laying a touchdown or more. Hint, it's not pretty. And we've seen Houston, the stats are great. Oh, they're getting the pass rush. Oh, Deshaun Watson's putting up these big numbers, yada, yada. And at the end of the game, the Texans have 16 points and 18 points and 19 points. You can't be laying against Sean McDermott's defense. We've seen, even in that ugly game at Green Bay, all right, forget the Ravens game, week 1, with Peterman at quarterback. Just throw that whole game out, throw all the stats out. That's not the Bills, all right? The 4 games since, they had the bad first half against the Chargers. Well, that was right after that. The 3.5 games since, they've been right there with anyone. Even the game at Green Bay where they got shut out and the offense couldn't do anything, that defense was phenomenal. Kept on holding the Packers out of the end zone and field goal. Texas can't win by margin. Give me Buffalo +9 and shop around. I don't know what book you're looking at. I'm looking at my live odds screen right now, and I'm seeing the markets moving to 9.5 on this ball game. I'm even seeing a 10 out there right now. So it's not a mature marketplace yet for Buffalo and Houston because Deshaun Watson still listed as questionable. He's going to play, and the line's going to be 9.5, and shop around. You might
he
get
was holding. I don't even understand some of that play calling, or whether his own decision to run there, but he took so many hits there, and then he's holding his chest in the fourth quarter. I'm like, this guy's going to be questionable all week going into this week now. The Pinnacle line currently is like 9.5 or whatever, but I'm sure at some point that line's going to settle once we know or once we have a better idea of what Watson is. A tough thing for me is, I've got Houston guys, obviously Watson and Hopkins in my fantasy football on 3 of my teams. I think it is 3 of my teams, and Watson's putting up points, but it's the points you expect him to put up. Hopkins, they just haven't connected this year for those, couple of touchdowns a game where they both explode. I believe what you say about the Bills defense. I actually thought the Bills would be 0-8 after their first 8 games. I think I mentioned that in the video. They surprised me, obviously upsetting the Vikings. I'm not sure if that was just the Vikings completely sucking on that day or the Bills, being really really great on that day. A lot against the Titans on the weekend. They looked really good, that defense. So I think you're definitely right there. And yeah, Houston's 1-9 their last 10 against. So like I said, laying 9 points or 9.5 or 10 is a little ridiculous with this team right now.
Well, it's not ridiculous. I mean, that's what the markets are expecting to get two-way action. At a 9.5 spread, that means they're going to get half the bets on Houston and half the bets on Buffalo. So it's not ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just don't think the Texans are good enough to cover that number.
All right. Okay, listen, Teddy, I know you took a lot of time out of your schedule twice to get this done with me. I really appreciate it. A few technical glitches earlier, but listen, man, I really appreciate you coming on, and we'll extend an invitation to our counterpart, the Prez, next week and see if he wants to come in and refute anything you said. But listen, you're having an excellent weekend, excellent season so far. Why don't you tell me what you got this weekend in NFL and college?
Oh, sure. I mean, we're just, board here on Wednesday. I've put up my first NFL plays. We'll have college posted later in the week. And as you mentioned, it's been a very good start to the season. The NFL has been great. The college has been profitable. And we'll see if we can keep it rolling. That's the bottom line for week 2 in October. Second week of
I
October.
appreciate it, guys. You can find Teddy at WagerTalk.com. Head over to his handicapping page and check out his plays both for Saturday, Sunday, and if he has anything up for any of the early college football games. I think there's there might be a couple early Friday games as well too. But Teddy's killing it in football this year, and jump on board, guys. Teddy, thanks again. Hopefully this wasn't as painful as you might have thought it would have been, but thanks for coming on.
My pleasure. Have a great day. Best of luck to all of you out there in Viewerland. Cheers.
All right, Teddy, thanks for coming on the show with us and being in the hot seat. I know this is being recorded on Wednesday. I know you took some time out of your busy schedule today recording to get to come on with us. Really do appreciate it. We'll see you in December when I'm out there. All right, Teddy gave out the Bills getting 9 points on Sunday against Houston, and the Red Raiders getting 7. So good luck to Teddy. Remember that college football game goes on Thursday. All right, a couple free plays. Last week we gave out the Titans jersey I'm wearing today for this. They didn't get the job done in Buffalo, dropping a decision. We also gave out the under in the Chargers Raiders game. That went well under the total as expected. I thought 52 was a little high, and I think the final came in at something like 36 points. So good to get one there. I'm going to look at a couple games. First game in college ball. I put this game out earlier in the week, so I'm going to make it a free play because I've now taken it down off the website. Mainly because the spread I gave it out at is no longer available, and that is Temple. Temple was laying 4.5. I released that 4.5 earlier against Navy. The line is up around 7.5 right now. That has a lot to do with Navy losing their quarterback. It was just announced earlier today. That line's gone up to about 7. As you know, with that offense, and Ralph and I talked about this a little earlier in the day. The quarterback is so crucial to that offense that Navy runs. He's out. That line is up to 7. I still think it's playable, and it's a free play. It's just most of the value is gone. Obviously, I liked it at 4.5. I still like it at 7, but I had to take the play down. I don't want someone buying a play for that's listed at 4.5 and then logging into their sports book and get it at 7. But it's a play and it's a free play. So take Temple this weekend, college ball. Our free play is going to be NFL and the Jags Cowboys game. You have the Jags laying 3 points. They come off a loss in KC, 30-14. Their much talked about defense wasn't really as bad as that 30 points really looks. After giving up an early 13 points, a couple field goals and a touchdown, they settled down in the second half, only allowed 10 points. One of those touchdowns at the end of this second quarter pretty much put that game out of hand. That was a Bortles pick that cost them those 7 points. They only allowed 10 points in the second half. They look good. One of the problems is that defense was on the field most of the game. With Fournette out of the lineup, it's a little tougher on that offense. It puts a lot of pressure on Bortles. They're not going to Dallas. I'm not big on them laying 3 points in Dallas, even though the Cowboys are coming off a tough 16-13 OT loss. Some questionable coaching in that overtime. I think you got to go for it on fourth down, but I'm not sure what Garrett did there. But anyways, you got the Cowboys getting 3 at home. In October, last 9 games, they're 7-2 against the spread. Um, we're going to take the Cowboys here. I think, we have a low total here, 41, I believe it was, on Pinnacle earlier today. We're expecting a low-scoring game. Obviously we've got 2 offenses that haven't really moved the ball much. Low-scoring game. I'm always willing to take the points with the home dog, and I'll do it here. Cowboys +3 is your free play. All right, listen. Head over to WagerTalk.com. Check out the Carmine Bianco page. I have a 2-pack in college football. I'm going to be adding another play later on today. 3 plays in NFL, 5 plays. You can pick up a 3-day all access, pick up all plays right through to Monday, or pick up a 7-day and to pick up some soccer along the way. Anyways, guys, as always, good luck with your selections. Let's have a big week, and we'll see you next week, week 7, when we have a special guest in the hot seat.